What's up, guys? Just here back to my channel. Tonight, I'll be doing a review for WWE Saturday's main event. I almost said Money in the Bank right there. So, Saturday's main event tonight. So I have a first match with the tag team match with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn at something. This person put the time thing. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker being their injury coming by W Hall of Famer Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn coming out first to okay, Bob, we got temp. Okay, PLE. St. Punk is out last. To more appropriate pop, he reaches the ring, looks at Sami Zayn and nods. All four-man clash. There's been no bell. Seth is sent from the ring first, followed by Braun to a good pop. Punk heads outside the ring to stalk Rollins. The ref calls for the bell. As Zayn and Breaker are left in the ring, Breaker takes control early on, and within first 60 seconds of our match, hits a huge starts a huge flying clothesline attack to Zayn on commentary table. We go to commercial break. All right, damn you. Okay, all right. So we're back from break. Breaker and Rollins have maintained control throughout the commercial break. Breaker uses shoulder thrust on Zayn until the ref warns him. Rollins fires off some cheap shots while the ref is distracted, warning Breaker. Rollins and Breaker work together to isolate Zayn on their side of the ring, wisely keeping him from the fresh Punk. Breaker takes his time, slowing the pace as he taunts Zayn before bringing Rollins back in. The crowd woke up, ripped off a huge "Let's go, Sammy" chant. Zayn sends a Breaker over the top ropes and makes the hot tag. He hits the ring hot, dropping Rollins with clotheslines and a net breaker before ripping off his shirt to a big pop. Punk calls for the go to sleep GTS. Rollins escapes but runs right into a kick from Rollins. Punk with the code red for a clothesline attempt. Come on. Punk charges Rollins and hits a running knee to the jaw in the corner. Breaker enters the ring and is dropped by Punk with a clothesline, who also hits a bulldog on Rollins. Punk climbs the turnbuckles and hits an elbow drop on Rollins for another two. We're reminded Punk is okay when Cole tells us Punk was at the 2007 Saturday night's main event and stuff. Rollins recovers and rallies, hitting a pedigree on Rollins. Zayn makes the save. Breaker enters the ring and begins to lay into Zayn while the crowd loudly barks for him. Breaker sends Zayn onto the apron, but is suckered in by Sami and dumped to the outside. Sami executes a seated springboard top rope moonsault to wipe out Breaker and says such a commercial break. Okay. Okay, we're back. Sorry, this person put something. Anyways, alright, we're back from break. CM Punk and Seth Rollins are slinging it out in the ring as the crowd cheers for Punk. Punk looks for a GTS, but Rollins escapes. Rollins fires off a stomp, but Punk evades it, and both men wipe each other out with lariats in the middle of the ring to a pop. Both men crawl to their corners and make a simultaneous hot tag, saying looks for a blue Thunderbomb, but Breaker escapes and attempts a suplex. Sami escapes and hits a rope assisted DT to a big pop. Sami posts up in the corner and calls for a haluva kick, but Rollins distracts him. Punk dives over the ropes to wipe out Rollins, and Sami uses an exploder suplex to drop Breaker. Zayn again posts up for a haluva kick, but Heyman distracts him. The ref and Zayn are distracted, but Heyman, when oh my god, we're turning very early from injury. It's Big Bronson Reed. Reed demolishes CM Punk to a big reaction. All the distraction, the heels pick up the win. So your winners, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And the person put 13 minutes of the match. Alright, so after the match, Reed and Rollins stare face to face. They have an extensive history, and the crowd pops as they seem to be ready to possibly brawl. It said the hug to a huge reaction from the crowd, and Heyman Reed grabs out Punk as he enters the ring. Reed then hits a tsunami on the vulnerable Punk to a huge reaction. Reed, Rollins, and Breaker stand strong with Rollins's foot on a defeated Punk. Alright, second match coming up. Women's United States Championship match. Zelina Vega, who's a champion, versus Chelsea Green with the Secret Harvest. After a quick backstage interview with the horse voice Chelsea Green, we get the former champ's entrance before heading to a commercial break. We then get the champ Zelina Vega after a quick promo for the upcoming Money in the Bank in recap of what we saw at the end of our first match, Vega gets a decent pop as she skips her way out. This is her first title defense, and she's 4-0 against Chelsea Green. Credit to W Graphics team for the fast, blah blah. As soon as the bell rings, Green and Vega clash. Green comes out at the gate aggressive, quickly taking it to the champ. Vega rallies pretty fast and using a huge head scissors takedown to position Green on the ropes for a 619 attempt. Green escapes and flees outside. Vega persuades but eats a powerbomb onto the stiff exterior floor. Green rolls Vega in and covers for a 2 count. Green begins to work over Vega, slamming her face into the mat before taunting her. Green with a big slap to drop the champ to one knee. We're reminded that Green won the women's U.S. title at the last Saturday night's main event in a tournament finale. Green resorts to working holds to wear down the champ. The crowd tries to rally the champ, but Green sends her back to the mat and slaps on another chin lock hold. Again, the crowd tries to support the champ. Vega begins to throw body blows Green to Green, and finally gaining separation. Green with the big boot to drop Vega. Green begins to stomp Vega in the corner until the ref warns her. The Sacred Herbis, Hobble Fire, and Piper Niven are shown supporting their leader. Vega begin her combat sequence, keeping up and taking the challenger into the corner. Vega escalates and hits a backstabber on Green. The ref is distracted by Alba Fire, allowing Piper Niven, who Pat called do job her dead name, to rip Vega off the top. Green fails to capitalize, however, as Vega very quickly rallies to put things away with the code red out of nowhere. That felt so okay. So your winner and still Women's United States Champion, Zelina Vega. I shouldn't call this supposed to come down. Alright. Blah blah. Alright, so the person put, whoever's on here and stuff. Alright, so third match coming up. It's a singles match, not a championship match. So anyways, WWE champion John Cena versus R-Truth. We're coming eventually. It's on the whole year blah blah blah. Finally, John Cena has his entrance and stuff, and John Cena sucks in timing with his theme as since WrestleMania. Cena gives us nothing but just his music and fancy slow ring, blah blah. We can get some ring. So I'm trying to fast forward over here. There's all time. Cena makes his entrance. R-Truth comes out to Cena's theme, rocking old school red colored Sun Cena to huge pop. Cena complete with the crowd. R-Truth. Here was a crowd doing Cena. Okay, here we go. Cena angrily clotheslines R-Truth, and we get our bell. The crowd wakes the heck up for this one, folks, and their chants are loud. Dueling John Cena, Rock / Cena, John Cena sucks chants fill the Union Center as Cena begins to take control early on. Cena pulls of Ron Cena's earrings and throws them aside. Another voluminous dueling chant, this time saying "You can't wrestle yet" / "Yes he can." Truth begins to rally, executing Cena's combat sequence. Move for move, Truth executes the classic Cena combat sequence to a massive pop. Truth with the high 5 knuckle shovel for another big pop. Truth with an attitude judgment whatever, and covers for two. The action spills outside as Truth persuades the champ again. This is a non-title action. Cena attacks Truth and sends him into the ring. Cena grabs a steel chair but trades it out for the title belt and threatens to hit Truth with it. Despite the ref's warning, Cena is about to clock Truth with it when he pauses upon seeing Truth's shocked face. Truth implores his childhood hero to return to his good ways. Cena hands the belt to the ref, choosing good, then kicks Truth in the nuts when the ref, like a low blow. When the ref's not looking, Cena quickly puts this away. After the match, Cena clocks Truth with the title and walks out after calling for his music to be cut off again. Wow, nearly 20 minutes of ads and video for a 5-minute match. Alright, so anyway, so your winner is John Cena. Alright, get back. Alright, commercial break with John Cena. Okay, so Jey Uso runs into John Cena backstage. Uso taunts Cena as he eliminates him at the Royal Rumble. Cena tells Uso that if a YouTuber were to defeat Uso for his title, it would ruin wrestling, and then smirks and tells Uso he'll be watching closely. Alright, so, yeah. All right, so fourth match coming up. Steel cage match. Drew McIntyre versus Dean Priest. All right, Drew McIntyre. Dean Priest is out. Need to remind of representing for both men. Priest enters the cage and is tagged as soon as Priest enters the cage and is tagged as soon as he does. The match isn't officially underway until both men are in the cage and the door is shut. Drew sends Priest into the ring. He gets in the ring, gets a steel chair, and clotheslines the cage to start the match. Drew begins to chop and strike Priest, battering him across the ring. Drew, that's me. I'm sorry, guys. Across the ring, Drew tries to send Damon face first into the steel cage, but Priest blocks it. McIntyre continues to control for the opening minutes, and we head to break. We return and find McIntyre is still in control and trying to escape. Both men continue to battle briefly, with Priest finally gaining some offense and Priest attempts to escape the cage, but Drew follows him. Standing on the top rope, McIntyre pulls Priest down with the hit Priest down. It's a superplex off the top rope. McIntyre gets a big pop and pulls up in the corner, calling for a claymore. The crowd very loud. It counts down with him, and he executes and connects. Drew covers, but Damon gets the shoulder up just in time. The crowd rips off a loud "This is awesome" chant. Priest and McIntyre rise their feet at the same time and begin exchanging blows. Priest attempts a claymore on McIntyre, but Drew dodges a bullet. The crowd is eating this up as both big men start with slow, powerful blows before escalating to rapid fire strikes. Priest with the big right that rocks the Scottish psychopath. Priest grabs the ropes to avoid a running claymore attempt. McIntyre rallies and hits the south of heaven. Chokes him on Priest and covers for two. Drew grabs a chair he brought in earlier and begins to work over Priest. We're reminded that this is a no DQ. Okay. Drew smacks Priest multiple times multiple times, then drops the chair. He stands over Priest, watching him silently, almost stalking him. Drew laughs and plays to the crowd before pulling Priest up to his feet and into the crowd. Drew's got the chair wedge and change of their match at WrestleMania. Looks for a claymore on Priest's head as it's wedge against the chair. Drew fires off the claymore, but Damien dodges it. Priest recovers and hits the south of heaven, strokes him, but doesn't cover Drew. He positions the steel chair under Drew's head, then heads to the corner. Priest grabs the chair that was wedged in the corner and walks over, thinking of a one-man con chair to Priest does it. Cole reminds us that this is the same move Priest used to take out Edge several years ago. Priest wastes more time, then finally walks over to the cage and walks out. He starts down the stairs, but pauses before finally stepping on the ground, waiting the match. As officials check on McIntyre, Ventura does not like that Priest just walked out the cage. That's not fair. That's not fair. Okay, so your winner, Damian Priest. All right. All right. Alright, so fifth match main event. Coming up, World Heavyweight Championship match main event. Jey Uso, who's a champion, versus Logan Paul. Jey Uso makes his way out. We go commercial break again. Yes, we're in. We return. Logan Paul makes his way out. Then Garcia makes official. I think they realize they're low on time. Alright, we get the bell, and our main event is off. Both men circle and lock up. Jey drops the challenger with a stiff shoulder. Jey takes control early on, getting the crowd to eat, but strikes. Logan strikes the champ and sends him outside. Logan stalks Jey and executes a crossbody over the top, wiping out the champ and sending us to another commercial break. I do not agree to get paid enough. Okay. Overall, 50 minutes stop. Okay. So, hold on. I'm going to see you guys real quick. Okay, we return to find Logan Paul in control momentarily, but Jey begins to rally Uso with a big running strike on Paul in the corner, recovering for two. Uso heads up top for an Uso splash, but Logan rolls through, nearly pinning the champ. Paul yells as the ref, claiming it was a slow count. Logan pulls Uso on his shoulders and hits a roll through driver. Paul pops back up and hits dropping knees on Uso. Logan goes for a clothesline, but Uso ducks under and hits a pop up. Someone drop for a close cover. Uso allows Paul to his feet and wraps him up from behind in the corner. Paul hangs onto the turnbuckle and covers and it's ripped off. When Uso yanks him out of the cover, the middle turnbuckle is exposed. Paul and Uso continue to jockey for control. Paul looks for a slingshot lariat, but Uso catches him with the super kick mid move. Uso covers for two. Uso watches as Logan is slow to rise. Uso charges in, but Uso redirects him into exposed turnbuckle. Looks like his shoulders eats the brunt of the impact. Paul with a big right hand covering for two. Uso drops Logan and heads up top, hitting a frog splash for a 2 count. The crowd erupts as John Cena hits the ring. Cena attacks Rev, then begins laying into Jey Uso. But wait, there's more. Cody Rhodes returns. Rhodes hits the ring for a massive pop and hits the crossroads on Cena. Paul gets brass knuckles, but Jey hits a spear on Paul. On Paul. Uso heads up to and hits the frog splash on Paul, covering for the win. So winner is still World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. All right, we have a fired up Cody Rhodes and stuff. Alright, so here we go. Fired up Cody gets on the mic addressing a retreating John Cena and Logan Paul. You ruined enough. I'm sorry, but the John Cena Farewell Tour rode right through Rhodes' country, and I'm ready to fight. He then challenges Cena and Paul to a tag match against Cody and Jey Uso at Money in the Bank in 2 weeks. Our promo goes later and stuff. So tomorrow's NXT. All that stuff, blah blah. And even though tomorrow night's the Double Nothing show too. So yeah. Everything's gonna go at the same time for Battleground and AEW Double Nothing stuff. So yeah, it was a good show. It was an okay show tonight. Some of the matches were good and stuff, but just man, so much commercials, man. Like a lot of commercials, like nonstop. I was like, we just got back and stuff, and yeah, for like what 1 or 2 minutes or something, 2 minutes or 3 minutes of watching it, and then it goes commercial break. And so I was like, what the fuck, man? So, anyways, I don't care. But, anyways, that was, yeah, so it was okay show. But, yeah, just too much commercials. And so I wish they would come down with the commercials and all that. But but I'm guessing NBC told Triple H and them to go to commercial break and stuff. But, yeah. But whatever. Anyways, that was this first video. Hope you like it. Not whatever stuff. So, like, subscribe, hit the button, leave me a comment. If you guys want to leave me a comment stuff, I don't care what you guys do, and that was it. And see you guys tomorrow night for the review for AW Double Nothing, alright? Laters.